Done it again, stone cold sober from the passenger seat in broad daylight. That's even worse. Take a look at the video. His friend tried to save him. He almost did. In real time, you can't see it. He then tried to play it off before ending the live. You see Ja in the background looking like a guilty man. We are in the social media era. Nothing goes unnoticed. Because when you slow it down, you can clearly see Ja's holding a gun. I mean, this is just unbelievable. The Memphis Grizzlies season ain't been over a month. They just got bounced out by Bron and the Lakers in the first round. And Ja has gone and done exactly what he said he wasn't gonna do this summer.
And the other thing I want to ask you, how do you evaluate yourself as the leader of this team this year? And how do you think you can grow in that area?
I just got to be better, with my decision making. That's pretty much it, off the court issues, affected us as a, organization, pretty much. More, off the court and on the court, just being disciplined on both sides, off the court, making better decisions, on the court, being locked in, even more. Being, a leader of this team, it pretty much, start with me. So, however, I attack, any situation, I know, my guys will follow. So, I just got to be better, in that area.
That was 2 weeks ago. You hear Ja acknowledging that he and the Grizzlies got to make better decisions and be more disciplined off the court. A month or so earlier, in a sit-down interview with Jalen Rose, Ja, when addressing the incident for the first time, said all of the right things then too.
When did you say, I'm gonna do this and it's necessary?
After I made a, terrible mistake, being inside a club and, went live, I put myself in, a bad position.
You at the spot, Shotgun Willie's. You are holding a gun. And we both know how dangerous that can be. Whose gun were you holding?
Well, the gun wasn't mine. It's not who I am. I don't condone any type of violence, but I take full responsibility for my actions. Made a bad mistake, and I can see the image that I painted over myself with my recent mistakes. But in the future, I'm gonna show everybody who Ja really is, what I'm about, and change this narrative.
Now listen, I had my suspicions back then. I had actually recorded a response video to that interview where I basically said that I think Ja was capping. I chose not to upload that video because it was quite a presumptuous take and I thought it'd be unfair to not even give him a chance to do better. Looking back now, I wish I uploaded it. Take a close look at that interview. Does Ja not give you like head teacher office vibes? When you've been caught misbehaving, you're not at all sorry, but you're just saying what they want to hear to get out of trouble. Ja had that look about him that if he made eye contact with one of his boys in the classroom, he'd burst out laughing in the teacher's face. But with the whole world coming at his neck, I had to give him the benefit of the doubt, and continued to do so even when I saw behaviour from Ja that really didn't show much change. I'm talking about the whole NBA YoungBoy gimmick. Now Ja is a grown man, he can listen to whatever artist he so pleases. But in my first Ja video, I talked about the influence of music, on my generation specifically, and to me, Ja looks like someone trying to emulate his favourite rapper, which is clearly NBA YoungBoy. Anytime you see Ja turning up in the club or an IG live, he's listening to YoungBoy. It's to the point now, it wouldn't surprise me if he was one of them burner accounts commenting YoungBoy better under other rappers' posts. The conclusion I came to back then was that Ja was trying to be the young boy of the NBA. And I don't think it's a coincidence that in this new video where Ja flashes a gun again, he's listening to YoungBoy. It's crazy because even NBA YoungBoy is aware of the influence that his music has on people. Now I see a lot of people running to Twitter saying Ja gotta find new friends, go and get better people around him, but regardless of whether or not that is true, I think that is a cop-out and a way of deflecting accountability away from Ja. In this new video, all his friend did was whap out a phone and go on IG live. Ja Morant lives his life on camera. He's on TV every other night. He should know how to act. And if we're blaming his friend for going on Instagram Live, then we're thereby saying that Ja is incapable of being on Instagram Live without sabotaging himself. We're saying he is incapable of listening to NBA Youngboy without waving his gun around. Is that what we're saying here? Because Ja knew he was on IG Live. Tell me, why is he holding his gun? It was one of the dumbest things I'd ever seen the first time he did it. And this time, it's so dumb, I'm starting to wonder if it's something else, more serious. Does he lack common sense? By going on Instagram Live, he has one objective: don't flash a gun. It almost cost you everything the first time you did it, so make sure you don't do it again. What does he do? He goes and does it again. And look, the worst thing about both these incidents is that Ja isn't actually harming anyone. In that country at least, he ain't doing anything illegal. You're allowed to own, carry and all of that. But it's the fact he got suspended, lost endorsements, was subject to all kind of abuse and trolling online for something so stupid. The risk reward is in the mud. You gain nothing by waving that gun around. You lose everything if you get caught. And he still went and did it again. I tell you what, Ja Morant should be banned from Instagram Live. If I was advising him, I'd have him delete the app point blank period. He cannot be trusted. And as for his circle and people around him, I'd tell him no Instagram, no Snapchat, no cameras, nothing when I'm around. If they can't comply with that, then they gotta go. People talk about dumb ways to die. This is the dumbest way to fumble a bag. The first time probably cost them 40 M's. This world isn't a very forgiving place. You're lucky if you get a second chance these days. Ja Morant got one and went and made the exact same mistake as he did the first time. Ja got really lucky. His suspensions were pretty light. His endorsements were only put on hold opposed to being cancelled. And I said in my last video, he can thank his boy Dylan Brooks for that. Dylan Brooks made such a target of himself that Ja actually got let off the hook because of it. Because when we talk about Memphis shortcomings this season, we ain't been talking about Ja like that. Dylan Brooks has been shouldering most of the blame. His antics have completely overshadowed all of Ja's wrongdoings. Well, I tell you what, that is about to change. Ja Morant has just undone any and everything he's tried to do of late to amend his reputation. The media and fans online are gonna destroy this man. I don't know what's gonna happen exactly, but I wouldn't be at all surprised if this incident right here ends up costing him millions and millions of dollars. He could face a serious suspension from the NBA also. I guess maybe with the playoffs ongoing and it being so early in the off season, his PR team may be able to minimize blowback, have it swept under the rug and an afterthought by the beginning of the new season. Maybe that's the case, but I don't think so. It's the fact he's gone and done the exact same thing again. If it was a different incidence of stupidity, even something similar along the same lines, he might have got away with it. Not this. All that therapy, all that counselling he was talking about, it just looks silly right now. Ja Morant has not learned his lesson, and this time he could be done. It's crazy because Gilbert Arenas just said yesterday that Ja Morant should do this in the off season.
The most important summer of this man's career is this summer. He better lock himself in the gym, in the house.
What you say you need to do?
Huh? Yep. Cut them drip. Come back next year. Yes.
That was good advice yesterday. It's a bit late now. Do me a favour, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications if new around. I'll keep you guys posted, and on that note, it's DKM signing out until next time, and peace.